Right then, so I don't know how many times this is Charizard having 5 for 300. But with some damage modifiers though, you can actually start getting into one-shot range of Eternus, well, Center Scorch and sometimes Eternus. And you know, we have to take it seriously. Let's have a look. Right, so like I said in the intro, you know, Charizard VMAX is a card that I definitely overlooked moving forward, and it's not one I'm still 100% convinced on. But with these damage modifiers, like it says up there, Zigzagoon Nets and Vitality Band also, I feel as if you can definitely start one shot in Center Scorch, which is a big plus, right? It's going to be a big decking format. And if things go your way, you can actually start one shot in Eternus VMAXs as well. And anytime you one shot in, you know, two of the potentially top 5 decks in format, you have to take it seriously. Let's have a look, shall we? So we're starting off. 3 Charizard VMAX, Scary Geezer, VMAX Pokemon, 330 HP with 2 attacks. I think it's called Claw Slash is the first one. Claw Swipe, I should say, 100 damage for 3 energy. I mean, you can satisfy that with a triple acceleration energy. I mean, it's not bad, I guess. It's not particularly great. Then you've got GMAX Wildfire for 3 fire and 2 colorless. You do 300, and like I said in the intro, we've actually seen this attack a few times on Charizard, 5 for 300. 300, you know, it's not a bad number, deals with all V Pokemon. It doesn't deal with VMAX though, but like I said, with the Zigzagoon Nets and the Vitality Band, we can start one-shotting those Pokemon. And that's pretty scary, so you gotta take it a little bit seriously. 330 HP is pretty tanky, you know. 3 cost ain't the worst, but yeah. And with triple acceleration energy, discarding 2 energy isn't really the end of the world, because what you do, you can weld them on 3 fires, then attach your triple acceleration energy to start overpay for the attack almost, then discard your 3 CE, leaving you with 3 fires on. And then if you tank a hit, you can just attach another 3 CE or just weld the 2 more and get back-to-back GMAX Wildfires and hopefully win the game with that. Pretty scary. Then we play 4 Charizard V, just because we want to really lean into our Flare starter, and I'd rather just play 4 Charizard V to make sure we get it as often as possible, because if we get the Fire starter off, I mean, we don't have to really, you know, bum rush out welders as often, or, you know, super reliant on our 3 CE. So that's why I play 4 Charizard V, just so we can have it on the bench as an easier time. Face value, not the greatest attacker though. Claw Swipe again, 3 for 80 this time. You know, it wasn't really good on the Charizard VMAX, it ain't good now. But Fire Spin's actually not too bad. For 2 energy, or 2 fire, 2 colorless, you do 220 and discard 2. One shot to Zacian, because of weakness, is kind of cool. And it deals with a lot of evolving V Pokemon as well. One shots itself, so actually not too bad of an attacker really. 220 for 4 with welder support. Not the greatest, not the worst. Down the middle, I'm sure it will come up. Put it that way. Now I mentioned Flare starter as well. We play 4 of those bad boys. And that's just so because we want to be going second. If we go second and get a Flare starter, you know, lets you attach 3 fire energy from your deck anywhere you like. You can just pile them onto a Charizard V and say, right, next turn someone's going to get GMAX Wildfire. I really hope you're set up, because if you're not, it's going to be dead. And that's a scary thing to deal with if you were the opponent. And that's why we play 4, just so we can, you know, not mess about, get that as often as possible, because again, our win rate is going to go so much higher if we get the Flare starter. And against Decidueye, actually, I think playing 4 of these Volcanions could probably win you the game, because it does 2 for 50, and then if you've got, what, 4 energy in play, you do an extra 60. Decidueye's weak to fire, get the one shot, very good. So yeah, it's not even a bad little backup attacker as well. We played 2 Dedenne, just so we can help draw through. You know, we are a welder deck, you know, we're not really playing many draw supporters, so we want to try and fall back on Dedenne sometimes to really help us find those 3 CEs as well, because we will need them throughout the course of the game. And actually, we play a Crobat V for a similar purpose, because we need to dig. It's that simple. As good as GMAX Wildfire is, it's still really costly. We do need energy to attack, and we don't really want to be missing them. Like, we're going to like turn 2 and 3. We don't really want to be doing Claw Swipe or whatever, and having all this nice draw will help with that. Mention the Zigzagoon a little bit. There he is. Headbutt Tantrums is one way we can start racking up damage. When you bench him, you can put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Very nice. So if you can go bench onto a Center Scorch, then scoop up net, and then put him back down again onto the Center Scorch. You now hit 320, get him out of the way. He's stuck Welder and doing like 120, and you're like, bap, let's do it again. So really good for sure. Zigzagoon in this list. And because we are playing the scoop ups, I think one Mind Report Mewtwo is a pretty solid option. You know, let us get back bosses, let us get back welders, let us get back research if we need it. I don't think it ever really hurts you playing the Mind Report. So, and it's been quite nice in my testing for sure. And then we've got the big bad Heatran himself. I think anytime you're playing welder, fire energies, you know, scoop up nets, all that jazz, Heartburn is an insane jet attack, letting you just suck up fire energy when he's moved to the active, and then does 50 for each one. Steam and Stomp's not bad against non-GX as well, does 130. I tend to deal with most of them. So yeah, Heatran's really nice. We play 4 switch as well. I think you'd be bonkers not to play a Heatran. Alright, let's go on to the boring ones then. So you got 4 welder. Do we need to talk about that? We're a fire deck. Welder's one of the most busted supporters in the game. Attach 2 fires, then draw 3 cards as well. So like I said, we can get to the point where we can just welder on 3 energy or flare starter, attach a 3 CE, bang, there goes your GMAX Wildfire. Welder helps us do that. We play 3 Professor's Research. Now this is just mostly so we can try and find those 3 Cs once we have welders. We don't actually need to welder like every turn, right? Like I said, once Charizard has his 3 fires on, we can start going through C route if we want. So Professor Research lets us do that. Also lets us help dig for our flare starter turn 1 going second as well, because I said our flare starter is so important. It just takes the pressure off so much if we can get that off. And we play 2 Gust in bosses orders as well. I wouldn't mind a third, but we have got Mewtwo Scoop to fall back on. And like I said, once we get flare starter going, we don't want to be hitting into no rubbish. We want to be taking 3 poisons hopefully and only attack twice really. We can probably get away with doing 1 big KO with GMAX Wildfire and then 1 hot burn at some point, and bosses orders with combination of Mewtwo Scoop will make sure we're taking multiple prizes when we're attacking for sure. We play 4 Pokemon because we still need to find our VMAX and we still need to find, you know, all our pieces, whereas I don't think quick we don't want to warrant playing Evo Incense, right? Pokecom's gonna let us find universal deck search. You play enough Pokemon to where Pokecom should be live, it just finds everything really. I mean, it's not the greatest of cards, it's like a net -1, but you know, it's a necessary evil in this format until we get better ball search. 4 quick balls. This is just so we can find, you know, Charizard V nice and early, find our Crobat, find our, almost everything apart from the Charizard VMAX. I'm looking at that, finds everything. So I don't see why you wouldn't play 4, because 4's nuts. And then here are the scoop up nets, really good for your Mewtwo, really good for your Zigzagoon, mostly for Zigzagoon though. Like I said, we need some prior damage to make sure Charizard is hitting those one-shots. He's not very good if he's not one-shotting, so we need Zigzagoons and we need scoop up nets to let that happen. And you know, it also means it's going to be another activator for Heatran. If we can, like, after a KO for example, we can promote up a Volcanion or the Zigzagoon or the Mewtwo, you know, do the scoop up net, and then allow the Heatran to go into the active, suck all the energy off with his ability, and then bish bash bosh. I'm a really big fan of 4 net in this list. Speaking of 4-ofs, we've got 4 switch. Again, this is mostly just so we can lean into Flare Starter as much as possible. Flare Starter is insane. I've said about it a few times now, but it's really, really nuts when you get it off 4 switch, because what you don't want to do is like lead Charizard V and you've got no way of getting Volcanion in the active. That would suck, alright? And that's why we play 4 switch, just so we can eliminate that from happening as much as possible. That's also why we play 4 Volcanion as well, just so we can lead it as much as possible. Another damage modifier is a Vitality Band, super clutch. That means against Center Scorch, you can just get 1 Headbutt Tantrum, attach Band, baff, there we go. And against Eternus, you can sort of go what? Goon, 2 nets, and then Vitality Band, which is a lot more manageable when you've got so much dig like we have. So Vitality Band is super cool. A lot better than Burning Scarf, because Burning Scarf, you know, your opponent has to hit you. They can play Tool Scrapping and Boss Swords around it. At least, whilst Vitality Band isn't as strong, Vitality Band, you know, it's always, you will always get used to it, provided, you know, you attach and attack at the right time. So that's why I've opted for Vitality Band. We then play 2 Giant Half just to help find our fire energies, because, you know, we're a fire deck. Giant Half is nuts, making sure we can always hopefully roll it for 2 energies instead of 1. I'm gonna have to just whoop, there we go. All right, we've got 3 CEs. Again, because obviously Charizard VMAX is a evolved Pokemon, so we can use that to sort of satisfy the Coalossal and the attack cost, and then we can just discard that, because we'll get discarded at the end of the turn anyway, leaving us with 3 fires, welder, bish bash bosh. That's how we play them. And then 11 fires, I think. 1, 2. yeah, 11 fire energy, which I have found to be quite a good number. A little bit high in combination. It's hard to get the balance between like 3 CE and fire energy, because, you know, we're paying like what, 14 total energy. But like I said, we've got flare starters like pluck them out the deck. We've got giant hearts to pluck them out the deck. So hopefully once you've plucked a few out, it shouldn't clog our deck up too much. And at the end of the day, GMAX Wildfire is a 5 energy attack, so we're gonna have to run a few energy, right? And make hot burn as crazy as possible. But let me know what you think about Charizard VMAX. Do you think it's actually gonna have a place in the meta, or is it just gonna be like a super rogue pick for your Charizard lovers out there? Leave it all in the comments. Love that. If you like the video, love that. Follow me on Twitter, trying to grow the Hot Chalk army over there. If you're after more Darkbox Ablaze content, make sure to check the playlist out in the description. I've got so many post-rotation deck profiles and gameplay as well. But thanks for watching, as always, and I'll see you all next time.